where they're creating literally a new skin, an exoskeleton for the military, which is a good thing because the skin in its proposed design would be resistant to ballistic attack. In other words, bullets would ping off of them. They'd be resistant to chemical attack. They would have their musculature would be enhanced through nanotechnology. And you look at this and you think, well, I'm really in favor for protecting our soldiers. But then what you recognize is that as this stuff begins to filter its way into the police forces, as it begins to hit the streets, now all of a sudden you've got a group of beings out there that are essentially unstoppable. But behind it is this idea that we're uniting man and machine, and that's something that I'm personally kind of uncomfortable with. I try to stay neutral on it because I recognize that when you're talking about genes, bits, which is computer technology, neurons, neuroscience, and atoms or nanotechnology, you're really just talking about the same old elements of earth, air, fire, and water retooled. And, of course, our bodies are composed of those four elements. But what is always left out of the conversation when the technologists get together and talk about redesigning the human body is they leave out the fifth element, which is spirit, the quintessence, the life force energy. And I just don't see technology incorporating spirit to the degree that it's something that I would be prepared to want to, for example, begin to start implanting computers in my body. That's the line that I draw. And I recognize that I'm probably a dinosaur as far as these guys are concerned. They're really looking at the generation or generations that are coming up that are, say, 10 years old right now, maybe as old as 20 years old. This is all aimed at this younger generation, and they will gladly accept it. They seem to come into the world cable ready or computer ready, and they embrace this. And it could be just a matter of one generation that suddenly we see this huge transformation of ordinary children into these cyborgs or computer-enhanced beings.
Absolutely. You know, as we get close to Christmas, it's only appropriate now to start talking with you about angels. What, in your opinion, William, are angels?
Well, there's several levels of angels. You have your kind of not your Hallmark card angels, but that's a good place to start. That's what most people think of when they think of an angel. And that angel is simply a messenger, the lowest level. But there's actually a hierarchy of angels. You have your archangels, and then at the highest level you have a group of beings that I've been spending a lot of time studying lately, and that is the seraphim. They are the highest order of angels. They're considered to be beings of pure light and pure love who dwell at the throne of God. But the catch is, in many traditions, these seraphim are considered to be transformed humans. They are the next level of humanity.
Are they benevolent, or do they have a streak of evil in them?
Well, most angels, of course, are benevolent, but there are some that have been known to cause trouble. Lucifer is considered a primary example of a quote-unquote fallen angel. And so you look at this and go, well, how can an angel be bad? Well, the fact is that some, in fact, are. But at the highest level, when we're talking about the seraphim, they are entirely benevolent. Again, beings of pure light and pure love who have the highest interest of humankind in their being.
And what do you mean by the light body effect?
Well, here's this ultimate ancient secret that all of us in the human body are in sort of a pupal form. If you think of us sort of like the caterpillar, there is a light being within us that is akin to the butterfly. And what all of the ancient traditions describe, and every spiritual or sacred tradition around the world has a name for this next level of evolution, this metamorphosed or morphed human that has achieved the light body. It's called the body of bliss. It's called the golden body, the light body, the resurrection body. Every tradition has a name for it. Some say it's composed of a supramental substance. Others describe it as a pure light energy. But what we're talking about when we talk about the light body is something that is within all of us that we essentially wear on the inside, but which through transformation of our mind, body, and spirit, we can begin to wear on the outside. And when we wear it on the outside, it's portrayed in sacred art as either a rainbow body, being rainbow-colored light, or an energy field, usually egg-shaped, that is filled with bright white light.
Would the rainbow portion of this light body, would that be considered your aura, or is that something else?
The aura might be a manifestation of it, but usually when they, especially in the Tibetan tradition, when they describe the rainbow body, what they say happens, George, is that the human body, the vibration of the human body through the acceleration of the soul's vibration, can be spun into a vortex of pure energy that manifests as 5-colored rainbow light. So it goes beyond the aura to where the lamas can actually transform themselves into these beings of rainbow-colored light, and then in Tibetan artwork, they're portrayed within rainbow rings. And these rings are actually vibration. The ring is a vibration. It's also concentric rings, or portrayed as concentric rings, which indicate a vortex. And so I believe that what's happening here is that as they achieve this rainbow body, they spin themselves into this ring or vibration that actually can open up a vortex or a portal through which these beings then can travel the cosmos.
Are there people who can see these light bodies?
I have a friend who recently gave me a photograph of the light body.
Really?
She told me that in Tibet, of course, not much of this is going on in Tibet right now, but when in India and elsewhere, when the rainbow body is manifested, if only one person sees a lama, one of the Tibetan masters, transform into the rainbow body, if only one person sees this happen, they're not allowed to talk about it. But if a group sees it, then it's considered a legitimate manifestation. And in this instance, they actually took a photograph of a being transforming into the rainbow body. This photo was tested by Kodak and legitimized. And in this photo, what we see is this almost spinning vortex of rainbow-colored energy, just like you see in the Tibetan images of the rainbow body.
That is amazing. And do these rainbows, are they the same color for everybody, or do they change?
They're usually, they're 5-colored, and they're very consistent in the artwork. And what I've gone about doing is showing that, and you can see this on my website under my new presentation, Soul Rising, where I compare the Tibetan images of beings who have achieved the rainbow body, they're in the rainbow ring, with the resurrection images of Jesus, who is also shown in his rainbow ring or sitting on a rainbow. The rainbow in this case indicates not only the fully transformed human, but it also represents a method of travel. It's a bridge, a rainbow bridge linking Earth with the heavenly realms.
And in your latest work, Soul Rising, you have looked at this transfiguration of the human being to the point where, are we in a period now, William, where more people are at this point where they understand how to build their own soul, how to make it work?
We're absolutely in that period, and part of what's sparking this is the Internet. People have instant access to these sacred texts and to this imagery that they've never had at any point in history before, and this is what is going to change everything.
Let's talk more about that when we come right back on Coast to Coast AM. William, I find it fascinating, too, in ancient pictures, always depicting Jesus and very spiritual beings. They're always shrouded in light, aren't they? Always.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about, this rainbow, a body of light?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, especially in the case of Jesus, when we see the images of the resurrected Jesus. When he's come out of the tomb, he's either completely engulfed in light, white light, or most often, and I think the most technically accurate ones, are when he's surrounded by a rainbow energy or ultimately sitting on a rainbow. This is called the glory body or the glorified body. And we pick up the pun here and think glory, glow ray. They are literally glowing rays. They are glow ray-fied beings. They have achieved the next level, and as a consequence, they literally glow rays. They're called the illuminated ones, the Illuminati. These are some of the terms, and in fact, the Apostle Paul says that we are all in the process of morphing into these glory bodies or illuminated bodies or light bodies.
Did somebody teach them these techniques, or did they always have this glow?
Well, this is one of the great and most fascinating questions and mysteries concerning the rainbow body. I mean, if you go back to the Tibetans, who seem to be the real authority on this, while in Christianity you see the images and you're offered the story of a man, Jesus, who turned into or resurrected himself into the rainbow body. In Tibet, they have a whole virtual kind of corpus of information and knowledge and techniques about how to do this. And the Tibetans are crystal clear about this, that this